I wanted it to be you. Not because you were perfect. Not because we never had problems. Not because there weren't signs. I wanted it to be you because once I let myself believe in us, I stop imagining anybody else. And that's what makes this kind of heartbreak different. You don't just lose a person. You lose the future that you built around them. You lose the conversations that you never got to have, right? That's what you lose. You lose all of it. You lose the memories that you never got a chance to make happen. You lose the places that you were going to visit. That hurts. You lose the version of yourself that only existed inside of the life that you thought you were building together. And that's why some of you are struggling so much right now. You keep on telling yourself that you missed them. But if we're being real, part of what you miss doesn't even exist. You're grieving a future. You're grieving possibilities. You're grieving something your heart already moved into before reality ever arrived. That's what you're grieving. And I know that feeling. I know what it's like to sit alone and replay every good moment until your mind starts editing out all the bad ones. I know what it's like to stare at your phone hoping for a message that you know probably isn't coming. I know what it's like to, make excuses for somebody long after they stop making efforts for you. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to keep saying, maybe if I was more patient, maybe if I just tried harder, maybe if I loved them better, as if the outcome would have changed. I know what that's like. As if the ending happened because you missed some secret answer on a test that nobody gave you. But there comes a point where you have to stop interrogating yourself. You have to stop. Because some relationships don't end because somebody failed. And it's that simple. Some relationships end because they were never supposed to become what you wanted them to become. It's that simple. And that right there is the part that hurts. Acceptance is easy when you never cared. Acceptance is hard when you cared with everything that you had. Acceptance is hard when your intentions were very, very pure. Acceptance is hard when you would have stayed, right? When you would have fought. When you would have chosen them over and over again. That's what acceptance is hard. That's why your heart keeps arguing with reality. See, reality says that it's over. And your heart keeps saying, but look how much I love them. As if it should have been enough, right? As if love should have been enough. But love has never been enough by itself. Love can't force somebody to grow. Love can't force somebody to choose you. Love alone can't just force honesty. Love alone can't force consistency. Love can't force somebody to become who they promised that they would be. And some of us have spent years trying to perform miracles with love. Trying to heal people who didn't want healing. Trying to save relationships that only one person was carrying. Trying to convince ourselves that if we just held on a little bit longer, eventually the story would become one that we imagined. But sometimes the hardest truth is this. You weren't holding on to them anymore. You were holding on to the hope of who they would become. That's what you were holding on to. And those are two completely different people. That's why letting go right now feels impossible. Because you're not just releasing who they are. You're releasing who you believe that they would become. You're releasing the version that called you back. The version that changed. The version that finally understood. The version that finally chose you. The version that existed only in your imagination. And I'll tell you this, some dreams are harder to bury than people. That's why so many people stay emotionally attached long after the relationship is gone. Because hope can survive in places where reality already packed up and left. Hope can survive in those places. Hope can keep a seat reserved for somebody who stopped showing up years ago. Hope can make you call suffering loyalty. That's what hope can do. Hope can make you mistake waiting for love. But eventually, life asks a painful question. What if the reason it didn't work isn't because you gave up too soon? What if the reason it didn't work is because it couldn't? What if you weren't losing your person? What if you were being protected from a future that would have slowly broken you? See, I know nobody likes that answer. Especially when the memories are good, you know what I mean? Especially when the love was genuine, right? It was a little bit of genuine love involved. Especially when part of you can still picture them smiling. But just because somebody makes you happy sometimes doesn't mean that they were meant to stay forever. And that's what I had to learn. See, some people are just chapters. Some people are just chapters. And the reason that you're suffering is because you've been trying to turn a whole chapter into a whole book. The reason you're exhausted is because you've been trying to build a house where life only intended to plant a lesson. And lessons hurt because lessons leave. They leave. Lessons teach. Lessons change us. And then they go. And the older I get, the more I realize something. The greatest heartbreaks aren't always losing somebody, right? Sometimes the greatest heartbreak is accepting that who you wanted and what was meant for you were never the same thing. That hurts. I know about that. That's a different kind of grief because now you're not fighting them. You're fighting reality itself. You're standing in front of a closed door trying to negotiate with a future that already made its decision. And every day that you decide and stay there, you miss doors opening somewhere else. You miss it. I know that you wanted it to be them. I know that you wanted the story to end differently. I know that you wanted the apology. You wanted the growth. You wanted the family. I know it. I know that you wanted the commitment. You wanted the years together. I know it. I know that you wanted to look back one day and say, I'm glad I stayed. But life doesn't always give us the ending that we want. We know this. Sometimes life gives us the ending that we need. The truth is if it could have been them, it would have been them. Not someday, not eventually, not after 10 more chances, not after another year of confusion. No. If it could have been them, life would have had room for them. You wouldn't have had to force it. You wouldn't have had to just drag it. You wouldn't have had to carry it by yourself. Because what belongs to you doesn't require you to become exhausted just to keep it alive. And maybe that's the hidden lesson inside of all this pain. The goal was never to stop loving them. The goal was to stop believing that losing them means you lost your chance at love. Because you didn't. You lost one possibility, that's all. Not your future, not your worth, not your ability to be loved, just one possibility. And possibilities end every day. That's what I got to get you to understand. But your story doesn't end. So if you cry. Miss them if you miss them, right? Be honest about what hurts, but don't build your life around ghosts. Don't spend years worshiping a future that never arrived. Don't make a permanent home inside of a temporary heartbreak. Because the most painful sentence isn't I lost them. The most painful sentence is I kept waiting for something that was never coming. And that's what you got to believe. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I wanted it to be them. And I know you did too. But you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. And if you are having a hard time with letting go and you need help, you can check out the ebook, Letting Go When God Says So. We can help you. There's still love for you, my friend. I believe in you. I believe in us. Until next time, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.
I wanted it to be you. I still reach for my phone. When something good happens, then I remember you don't live there anymore. I saw your name today, not on my screen, just in my head. That's where you stay now. Like a house nobody lives in, but nobody can sell, and I hate that, because I wanted it to be you. I really did. I wasn't looking for perfect, I wasn't asking for forever. I just thought if life got hard, at least it'd be hard with you. I would've took the bad days, the long nights, the misunderstandings, the growing pains. I would've learned your storms if it meant I could keep your sunshine. But life had other plans, and you had other arms. I wanted it to be you. That's the part that hurts, not that you left, not that we broke, not even that you love somebody else. So that when I pictured peace, you were standing in it. When I pictured home, you were standing in it. Every future I built had your fingerprints on the walls, and now I don't know what to do with all these rooms. I wanted it to be you.